This conference will now be recorded.
Microphone. Nobody was complaining they couldn't hear me. You obviously were talking about 70 years, okay?
Good evening, Mary.
Hello.
Hey, Mary, how does the sound now versus our last meeting?
It's fine. It's better, and also the picture is much clearer of you in the village office.
I know, but I'm just talking about in our previous meeting, the speaker was all the way back by the computer, and then Officer Happ just moved it up closer to the table. I was wondering, does it significantly difference in picking up the voice?
No, I mean, I could hear fine at the last meeting, but something was done different with the lighting, I could tell.
Okay,
Because you
well,
looked very far away and we could hardly see you, and dark.
I wonder if it's because we had the sunlight coming in maybe a little bit earlier in the window earlier, and now it's a little bit darker, so that could be playing a part. So we're
Could
still
be.
dialing in all the little variables, so.
But yeah, the voice on the other one was fine, I thought.
Okay. I do tend to talk loud, so that helps.
Okay. If we're gonna have anybody else, just the three of us.
And Stephanie King.
Stephanie King is there? Oh, yes. Okay. Time being 3?
Yep.
7:03 PM. The community development meeting will begin with this statement. The statement states that according to Governor Pritzker's executive order that permits remote meetings with the requirement that at least one member of the public body be present at the Village Hall at 108 West Main Street in Winnebago, Illinois. This meeting will be held remotely via GoToMeeting. And Mr. Kimes was present at the Village Hall meeting. With that, I'll call the meeting to order. First order of business will be the approval of the minutes for May 14, 2020, January 27, 2021, and March 3rd, 2021. Mike, I know has a correction on one of the minutes that we have, and it is on the file.
Basically, on March 3rd, 2021, second page, second paragraph, it's just a spelling correction to change Mr. Morgan to Ms. Morgan. And with that correction, I will motion to approve the minutes from May 14th, 2020, January 27, 2021, and March 3rd, 2021.
I will second it. We'll have a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Mike McKinnon, yes.
Don Kimes, yes. Conflict of interest disclosure. Any, Mike?
None.
None. Public comment. I'd like to change down and go directly to the fireworks. This is the only one that we have here would be Stephanie King and also Nick Happ. So let's jump down to number 7.
So for public comment, there is none, correct?
Yeah, public comments there is none.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll jump down to let's go to number 8, the 4th of July and the fireworks. I have not heard back. Frank was supposed to have a meeting with the director of the Winnebago County Health Department. I believe they have a call-in meeting on Friday, and looking for some direction as far as is her name Martell? Dr. Martell, is it, Mary?
Yes.
Yes. And whether Dr. Martell, what type of direction she's going to be giving us for having the fireworks, as far as I've heard bits and pieces of spacings and whether they have to be mask covered or just what the other ones are. But since I have nothing, I don't have anything as far as that. Unless you do, Nick, do you have something?
No, the only thing I really have on that is, I don't really know if the village should get into the market of determining who can sit in the stands, in the bleachers. I really just think that would be problematic. A, from the staffing side, but B, from just, I don't know if that's something that we necessarily want to get involved with at all. So I kind of think that we shouldn't even use the stands as a seating option and, leave it up to the people to space out in the fields, and in the parks, and whatnot.
Okay. That was another thing, and you answered it as far as the spectators are concerned. Since we are not having any ground fireworks and they're all going to be aerial, I don't know exactly just how many people will be down there sitting at the stands, but that's just a total guesstimate. I have no idea. We have no idea.
And I can tell you from being in various parts of the village on different calls over the years on the 4th of July, you can see the fireworks from almost anywhere in the village, as long as you're not in front of a tree. I was on a call in 2019 right here on Main and Benton Street, and you could see the show very nicely from over here. So I would imagine that it shouldn't be a problem for too many other people that are viewing it from either their home or their business or whichever way they decide to go.
Have you got any input as far as the direction that you could give us, Murray, as far as what you have heard from either other communities or other municipalities that are going to be having fireworks, because there isn't just too awful many in Northern Illinois?
Yeah, I haven't heard specifically about them, but today I was reading, I don't have my phone in front of me, but that I thought that the CDC had come down with new guidelines for outdoors. That I know I was reading, it said, it was a little confusing, but it said that they were removing the mask requirement for outdoors if you're with fully vaccinated people. And then it said, but also if you're in a group with a mixture of fully vaccinated people and people who aren't vaccinated, that seemed to also imply that they were removing the mandatory mask requirement. So I can at least check and get clarification on that, but that seemed to be coming at a national level, not like Winnebago County Health Department.
Yes, and that's the way it is. It seems as though for some unknown reason, yes, we can have it, but they're trying to put some different restrictions in there, and I just want to make sure that we are totally legal, both for health-wise, and of course, what our governor is giving us direction to do.
And it's
I think to build on that, I think the direction was, which really is not much different than it's been, is if you are outside, there's no need for a mask unless you're with a large group.
Okay.
So I personally believe, and just as Officer Heck was alluding to, is, we just need to kind of get the necessary direction of what the county is going to hold us accountable to, and we follow those recommendations to the best of our ability.
And it's we believe that we're going to be getting another directive from the governor in a couple of days, because I had inquired due to the fact that I needed to know for purposes of a zoning public hearing that I have to get published. I have to get to the newspaper by this Friday to be published next week. And normally what I've been putting, of course, is remote meeting, but we didn't know what the governor was going to do. So I had asked Kelly to make contact with Brad Cole, and he indicated that it's expected that the governor is going to extend the remote meeting part of it, which that would also entail him coming up with whatever else he says normally at those directives when he puts them out for that month time period. So I'm hoping that we're going to get some further direction from that in the next couple of days as well.
Would you suggest that we, when we do get directions, that we try to communicate with the residents of Village of Winnebago, whether it be by newspaper or some other way, by water bill or something like that, to give them a certain amount of direction that the village would like them to follow?
I mean, I certainly think it's a good idea to put it on the village's Facebook page and Winnebago community page, whatever the village can share. And I know that
I
we've
think-
talked before that any of that's going to be very hard to police, but you can at least put it out there, what the expectations are.
I think once we establish our firm policy, just like we talked about in the Public Works, we can get it posted onto the Winnebago Village site. We can also get that information over to Stephanie King, and she'll get it through the Winnebago Community Channel, I'm sure. That seems to be a very good venue for communicating activities within the village, and we just hope that people abide by it.
Okay,
Well, I think Stephanie might be trying.
Stephanie, are you,
Yes, I wanted to add too, I'm in complete agreement with Nick. I think the direction that we went with the air show versus ground puts us in a position where, as opposed to opening up the stands as from a village standpoint, you are almost putting yourself in a place where you need to police that or control the environment in some way, and we have no way to properly do that. Being that it's going to be an air show, if people should gather and we put out the guidelines, social distance, masking, whatever it may be at that time, as opposed to attempting to sell tickets or do other things, we don't have the volunteers to do that.
we do not. We do not. Okay. Anything else you'd like to add on any subject, Stephanie?
Nope, we're ready to get rolling on the planning and fundraising. Just kind of waiting on final details and get started.
Okay, thank you so very much. Okay. Comment from the code officer. I haven't talked to the code officer for a while. Everything seems, to the last report that I received, everything was either being handled under control or letters have been sent out to those people who have been in violation. And I haven't heard of anything that there's any gross gross problems that we're having throughout the village.
I can
Oh,
tell
right.
you that, Don, if I could, I can tell you that for the property, and I don't have the address in front of me, but it's something that Casper had been monitoring. It's at Soper and Swift, where there had been that complaint of somebody operating a garage pretty much out of this this facility that was really just supposed to be his own home sort of thing. Well, I know that the Sittons who live across the street had just recently indicated to me when I was dealing with them on another issue, saying that that has dissipated, and they were kind of shocked, but apparently I know Casper has had multiple contacts with that owner. So apparently it's worked.
Day before yesterday, there were 7 cars parked around there and 1 car was on the hoist. So to take that for what it is. Do we have to catch them in doing this, or what is it?
Well, for them, it was a noise issue, and apparently at least the noise aspect of it has dissipated.
Okay. All right. I'll follow up with Casper on that.
Okay.
Okay, that's Soper and Swoop. I know exactly where it is. Discussion of property for the trailhead. That was up here, the Warren Jones property. Have you heard anything about that, Mary?
I have not.
Okay. Then, okay, let's go down to number 9. Discussion of Memorial Park, park equipment update planning. I think we need to have somebody from the community to take a look at some of the different types of planning that we can use on it at the park. The reason why I say this is because we have tried to designate it into different areas. And I think that we could, if we had a professional planner for the purpose of designing something like that, it would give us a long-term plan that we can use for upgrading in the Memorial Park. Some of the equipment, yes, could stand to be upgraded and will be upgraded, but I think we need to have a long-term plan for doing that. Also about the garden fence and gate. Can anybody add any more to what I already know about somebody is interested in helping us do some work on it? Do you have anything on that, Mike, whatsoever?
No.
Nope.
The only thing, going back to the first portion, is Sally Bennett has been soliciting quotations, and she has been doing some information with some, vendors that have gone and given some illustrations of whatever, some different options. She really had not been pushing the issue because she wasn't certain where the funding was going to be coming from. There was the possibility, if the fireworks did not go forward, that funding could have been utilized in that capacity. However, with the fireworks going on, that funding may not be available.
No.
However, with some of the funding that's coming out of the different stimulus activities, there may very well be some funding available. And so probably now may be the time where funds are available, but it may very well be something with some sort of an ad hoc committee to get a couple of residents together and along with somebody to maybe get some insight.
Right.
I'm beyond the phase of telling you what I would want to see on a playground because I'm not going to be on it.
Well, thank you very much for that one, Mike. I have seen and looked over the several books that she has, and there are several nice pieces of equipment. They are quite pricey, I wouldn't say they're out of this world, but they are definitely, it is definitely expenditure for the village to do that. And that's exactly what we need. We need some good planning. They have some lovely light packages. Do we want to accept some of these packages to do that and to be put in over a period of 3 to 5 years? And one of the things we have to look at is to see exactly what the total number of dollars that we do have for a planning session. So that will be something that we will be ongoing. Okay, we got that one. Number 10, discussion of Keep Northern Illinois beautiful, the medication collection event. I have heard nothing back other than they usually have it the first Saturday in June. I know the last time we went up there, we really weren't accepted too well, were we, Mike?
Well, I don't know that we weren't accepted, we weren't needed.
That's true.
Which again, if they've got the ability to handle it, that's a good thing. I mean, too often we have lack of volunteers. The fact that we had more than was needed, again, that's a good thing. Now, did we not approve that spending at the last board meeting?
We did.
So I guess probably just need to find out from them, do they have all the things handled? Will they need support from, the community? And
that's the reason why I have heard nothing. I don't know whether anybody else has either, so. Okay. All right, that's number 10. I'll check with Kelly. Okay. Kelly, okay. Okay, I guess we're down to new business. Anybody got any new business, Mike?
Nope.
Mary, you got any new business? Can't
I
hear
do
you,
not,
Mary.
thank you.
You do not. Okay, we
No.
don't need executive session. Yes, Mike will look for an adjourn.
I will motion to adjourn.
I second it. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Gotta do it by
Mary?
roll call.
Gotta do it by roll call.
Oh, yes, that done by roll call. Mike,
Mike McKinnon votes yes.
Don Kimes votes yes also.
Do you show 7:21 as the adjournment time or sometime close there?
Yeah.
7:22 on our computer,
Okay, thank you.
7:21 on Verizon.
So,
Have a good night, Mary.
okay, you guys too, thank you.
Have a good evening. This thing must go to sleep.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that you were turning on.
Yeah, it seems to be fine until it must go to sleep when it sits there without being.